This program is brought to you by Read Singapore. I'm Michelle Martin. Welcome to Book Talk. We're discussing Ken Liu's award-winning short story, The Paper Menagerie. This story is part of Read Singapore's anthology of short stories for 2013, Under One Sky. Jack is the son of an American father, bullied and taunted because his mother is a Chinese mail-order bride. Origami animals, lovingly and artfully made by his mother, are both his solace and his source of shame. A paper tiger comes to life. Jack's sense of shame and identity is awoken by his experiences in life. He struggles against what he sees as the source of his problem, his mother, in this moving short story of a young boy trying to fit in. Joining me are my panel of guests, Dr. Lee Bee Wah, MP for Nee Soon GRC, Ruby Lim Young, founder of Act 3 International, and Albert King, founder of The Coaching King. Dr. Lee, could you share the line with us that you picked out that resonates with you from The Paper Menagerie?
Actually, there's a line that after I have read that, paused for a while and then brought back the memories of childhood. And this one can be found at one of the paragraphs. Mark, one of the neighborhood boys, came over with his Star Wars action figures. Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber lights up, and he could swing his arms and say in a tiny voice, "Use the Force." I didn't think the figure looked much like the real Obi-Wan at all. Together we watched him repeat this performance 5 times on the coffee table. Can he do anything else? I asked. Mark was annoyed by my question. Look at all the details, he said. I looked at the details. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to say. Mark was disappointed by my response. Show me your toys. In fact, after reading Show Me Your Toys, I paused for a while and a lot of memory rushed into my mind during the childhood days. Because during that time, we don't have money to buy any toy, right? And then our toy was all the broken plates, spoons, forks. And I remember one day, my brother came home and cried, wanted to have a new toy because he saw our neighbor bought a new toy. And that is why when I saw this, Show Me Your Toys, it reminded me of the scene that my brother cried and asked for a new toy.
Thank you for that. So powerful, because as children, when you're an adult, your car is your status symbol, an extension of yourself. When you're a child and you have so little power in your life, I suppose your toys are the badge of what you stand for in the world. So thank you very much for that. I want to ask you all about what you make of you brought up that excerpt where Mark features. Mark is a friend of our protagonist in this novel. Mark is American. Our protagonist is Chinese American. His mother is a mail-order bride. But let's look a little closer at Mark. Mark, in this excerpt, punched me hard. This was very expensive. You can't even find it in stores now. It probably costs more than what your dad paid for your mom. That's Mark talking to our main character, Jack. Does the story say anything about the power of bullies or bullying as a theme?
Yeah, Mark's just a mean little boy in the story, I suppose. I mean, you must see it in the genre of writing a story and how to shift the rhythm and, and regain some attention if the story is sort of like gotten a little flat, and you don't want to just keep talking about the dilemma between the boy and the mother. So I think Mark added a sort of a flavor.
That's great. You've just showed us how the story works. Thank you for that. Story writing 101. Love that. Mark is cruel, and he shows us how children can be so cruel and so painful to other children as well.
Children are quite naive,
It's kind of like one-upmanship, Yeah, and children it's normal.
In retrospect, yes.
What I read into the relationship between Mark and Jack was not so much the bullying, but the differences or the diversity, and how sometimes differences can work against us because we're different and you're not as good as, or differences can actually be supportive and actually we can enjoy differences. What can we learn from each other that we're different? In this case, as young children, they tend to go different, not as good, I'm better, you're not as good. Whereas I think the opportunity really is to look at how can we actually have our differences, enjoy and enhance and embrace our differences in challenging times.
Is this a story you'd read to children? Earlier, Ruby raised this point, who is this written for? What did you make of this little short story, and is this something you would read to a child?
Yeah, it is a story that we can share with our children, especially towards the end of the story. Yeah, don't regret, appreciate what we have. Yeah, don't wait until everything is towards the end, then only, I should have show more love towards my mom. I think the last part of the story is definitely something that we should share with our children.
What I'd like to do now that I know the story better,
Yes.
I would share this with my 12-year-old niece, have her read it, and then ask her how she felt reading it, and just get her insights, and it will open a world, to her about mixed cultures, about mail order brides. What are those, and about this one-upmanship and bullying, and there's so many issues. Actually, it makes for great literature text, in my opinion, for slightly older children.
Parents, I hope you're listening in. This is one of the reasons why the National Library Board, that we love so dearly, picked this for Read Singapore, one of their reads for Read Singapore 2013. So good job, NLB.
You're listening to Book Talk, brought to you by Read Singapore. The program continues after this.